It was a night they wouldn't forget, not because of the snow, but because of what pierced the night.
What the heck was that?
Was that Bigfoot? Did you hear it again?
Yeah.
Is that Bigfoot?
Imagine cruising through a rare Arizona snowstorm, windows down, just trying to catch it on camera. Now, this part of Arizona doesn't see snow like this often, and many are saying that this is bringing out weird wildlife. Listen back and judge for yourself. Maybe think twice before you stick your phone out into a snowstorm.
What the heck was that?
Was that Bigfoot?
For 3 days in a row, a property owner noticed unfamiliar figures moving through the woods surrounding his cabin. Oh, hell no. They were dressed in some type of garments, some type of cloaks, these heavy coverings, and he couldn't make out who any of these people were. He saw them with the naked eye, but one night his trail camera captured them on video. They appear to be spread out across the property, all traveling in the same ultimate direction. They showed almost no reaction to the camera and never even acknowledged that he was there. Then, just as suddenly as it began, all activity stopped. They were never seen again. He reported it, showed the video, but no one nearby had any explanation for who or what these things were. A trail camera deep in a Michigan forest recorded a blurry image that later circulated online. The photo appears to show a thin figure slipping between the trees. Its frame seems narrow with sharp shoulders, spindly limbs, and creepy eyes that shine right back at the camera. Some viewers argue it's nothing more than a dog caught at an odd angle. To me, it reminds me of that mini Tyrannosaurus Rex they tried to trot out onto YouTube a few years ago. Remember that guy? Oh, look, here's a dinosaur running across my trail camera. Others believe it could be a shapeshifter or a skinwalker. But at the end of the day, you can't really make out what it is from this picture. And most people would just chalk this up as, I can't tell what it is, but I bet someone in here can figure it out. What do you guys think this could be? I don't think it's a dog. On January 4th, 2024, the case of Tommy Brryley was finally closed. Tommy disappeared all the way back in 2017 after leaving Brewer's Bar and Grill in Sumter, South Carolina. He was last seen driving away in his silver BMW 325i. From that moment on, neither Tommy nor his car were ever seen again. For 7 long years, the case remained unsolved, and most people had come to believe the answers were gone for good. That changed when Adam, a YouTuber known for locating lost vehicles and missing persons through underwater searches, decided to take on the case. He teamed up with another experienced searcher named Jason, and together they focused on a pattern they'd seen many times before. When both a person and their vehicle vanish without a trace, the answer is often hidden in the water.
Searching for the past years for Tommy, because he just basically vanished after leaving a Brewer's Bar and Grill in downtown Sumter, which has since closed by now. They had a lot of issues there, apparently fighting, and I've heard a lot of rumors about this bar. But he was out with his coworkers, having a good time. He left at like 2 a.m., vanished. He only had like a 15-minute drive back to his house, but neither him or his car has been seen since. So me and Jason, we've been checking so many places over the past few years for Tommy. Just all the signs to us point, when a car goes missing, you're in the woods or the water somewhere. There's a lot of woods, but by this time, usually hunters or somebody would have seen him if it was obvious. There's not a ton of water. There's a lot of little spots, and we're just, continuing to search. And you've been out here the past few days looking, right?
Yeah, I was here Saturday. It looks like it could be a car. I mean, it's a car-shaped object out towards this way. I don't know if they come around that curve here.
Yeah.
and like shot off right there. But I've seen no signs of car parts. But we're talking what, 7 years ago?
Yeah.
So I mean, people could have cleaned them up. I don't know. But would have come across right there, and ended up in there too. And I'll come around that curve probably about 45, and it would take nothing to go right off in there.
Yeah.
After years of searching different locations, Jason began scanning a stretch of water near a bridge using sonar equipment. Before long, something unusual appeared on the screen. The shape was unmistakable. It looked like a vehicle resting on the bottom. Adam immediately deployed his underwater drone to investigate further.
Have my drone in the water. Got it set up on the app so you can see on the screen. We're gonna send her down and see what this object is. Let's go down. That's a car. I think so, dude. Wait a second.
Sure as hell looks like one to me.
It looks silver too.
Dude.
No way. It's gotta be him. A silver car right down. This is the first place you checked?
This is the first place I checked, but all I had was a freaking radio speaker magnet to check right over there.
We didn't even, it's so small we couldn't even run the sonar boat.
Right.
We just threw the magnet in and it's stuck right away. We don't know yet.
Yeah, let's.
But we have a silver vehicle right now. Window slightly cracked down.
This is not a spot somebody would dump something either. Somebody was moving fast to get over there.
Does that look like the right?
I don't know, can't tell.
Is it a 4-door?
That looks like a 4-door.
that what
Yeah, his car is a 4-door though, wasn't it? The window's down, right? That's like a driver's side window.
I mean, for this to get here though.
Yeah, but moving. You're not gonna be able to tell anything. There's usually a logo right there at the top where the two grill pieces come together.
That's it. That's this BMW.
We found Tommy, I bet. That's gotta be Tommy. That's gotta be Tommy.
Dude.
Dude.
This case.
This is exactly where I want. The first place I looked was right here, but like I said, all I had was a rinky-dink magnet to throw in right here. Who knew he was going to make it all the way over here?
We probably checked every pond in Sumter.
Mm-hmm.
Every body of water, every boat ramp.
You want
This
to dive?
is on the path home, right? I mean,
This is this path
the
home.
curve.
That curve right there, either going too fast. He had to been going too fast to wind up all the way over here.
Okay, let me try it. I don't want to say 100%. We know it's a silver BMW. Let me try to find a tag. I mean, I'm gonna have to dive in here.
As the camera descended, the outline of a car slowly came into view. The color appeared silver. The position suggested that the vehicle hadn't been dumped deliberately, but instead had entered the water at speed, and that speed carried it all the way across to almost the other bank. Well, the deeper they looked, the clearer it became. This was a BMW. Inside the submerged vehicle were human remains. Authorities were contacted right away, and the following day the car was removed from the water. The remains were later confirmed to belong to Tommy Brryley. After 7 years of uncertainty, Tommy's family finally had answers. While the outcome was tragic, the discovery brought long-awaited closure to a mystery that had haunted the community for years. Adam continues his work to this day, searching for missing persons and lost vehicles, giving families answers when all hope seems lost. And cases like this are a reminder that sometimes the truth isn't gone forever, it's just waiting to be found. This next encounter comes from Rob Outdoor, a UK-based solo camping and van life channel focused on realistic overnight stays in remote and unconventional locations. It's actually a pretty cool idea. Not always, but sometimes his content will highlight how quickly discomfort and risk can surface during stealth camping. July 13th of 2024 in a rural woodland car park in the UK, evening approaches. Rob drives down a rough access road and immediately senses something is off.
I'm taking the camera off the screen, off the windscreen, because there's a few cars down here already and it's only 6 o'clock. Don't get me wrong, there could be dog walkers, but again, as per last time, we've already seen single male occupants in the vehicles. At least 2 vehicles with single male occupants. Jesus Christ. I'll show you at some point later on how bad the road is on the way in here. The actual, the drive. And you can't tell me people want to drive down this car park just to walk their dogs. We're in the back now, into stealth mode. We're right up against this sort of, oh god, here we go. I'm going to say right up against this here, so no one can park next to me. That's the drive you come in, and this was only a small car park. So that car there, single male occupant. The car next to it, guy just walking his dog, and the car next to that, single male occupant. And then there's a couple of empty cars here, which I assume are dog walkers. So again, what are people doing here? What do people...
Several vehicles are already there, many with single male occupants sitting inside. The number of cars and their behavior feels unusual for such a quiet location at this hour. After parking, Rob switches to stealth mode but remains uneasy. He can't figure out what's going on. The setting doesn't align with typical dog walking traffic, and the spacing of the vehicles suggests something else is going on. Despite his concerns, he stays put and begins preparing dinner inside the van, hoping the atmosphere will settle as night falls.
Box right in front of my van. This place is weird. Bloke in a van's just pulled up. He was parked there. He just drove off. He was parked there. He walked down there, and I was at the back there cleaning my stuff. In fact, I can still see a man there. See him? So that bloke walked down there and then walked behind my van where I was cleaning my stuff. Look at that bloke there, look. Trying to look in the back of my van.
Instead, the situation escalates. While cleaning near the rear of his van, Rob notices a man walking closely behind him, attempting to peer inside through the back doors. The man lingers briefly, offering no explanation, then walks away. The interaction leaves Rob unsettled. Another individual soon approaches and initiates an awkward conversation.
Oh yeah.
I thought you lived in this for a minute.
No, well, a little bit of both, like, Yeah. Right? Yeah, just doing a bit of dinner, like, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
how about yourself, you alright?
Yeah. Just been having a day of them.
Yeah. Much about?
Not today, actually.
No.
Saw a couple, but always see some down to us, Brryley.
Yeah. No, it's nice to do, isn't it? Actually, it's nice to get away, isn't it?
His answers are vague, his presence unnecessary. Though the exchange remains polite, the timing and lack of clarity add to Rob's growing discomfort. Even after the man leaves, the sense of being watched doesn't fade.
You can't tell me that's not weird. An Astra estate. Something tells me he'll be back. Something tells me he'll be back later on. But yeah, he was just hovering down here. He was hovering down here. This is where the other guy come. Now when I was trying to show you, as I was in the back of the van, he was hovering here trying to look inside my van. And he stopped. And I'm not sure exactly what the camera picked up. I'm not sure what you could hear or not. But he said he'd just been deer hunting. Alright mate, that's what you call it. Well, he's driving off anyway, so. But open to about there. So you can't exactly go through there. Two blokes come through, walking through here. They were hovering here, stood in this little area, trying to peer into the van. That van's back. He was down here earlier on. Then he went and parked up there.
As darkness falls, activity in the car park increases. Vehicles arrive, reposition, idle, and leave, only to return again. One van appears multiple times. Others linger with headlights on. The movement feels deliberate rather than coincidental.
I told you I was going to sleep. Since then, 2 cars have been round, papping their horns. The motorhome that was here, he's bottled it and he's gone. Right, so full disclosure, it's now, so is it? It's now 11:30. And I'm not in the same car park, I've moved on. Just getting into bed, just like as I said, you know, I was going to go to bed. A couple of cars turned up. One held its horn on in the main car park for ages. And then he pulled next to the other camper van that was there. Held its horn on for ages. And then pulled up next to me. Held its horn on for ages. Then it went to move out the car park, and then as it went to move out the car park, another car pulled in. So at that point I thought, I'm getting out of here.
Late at night, the behavior escalates further. Vehicles begin sounding their horns deliberately and repeatedly. One pulls alongside Rob's van and continues honking while laughter is heard inside. At this point, the activity no longer feels random. It feels targeted. Trusting his instincts, Rob decides to leave the location entirely. The following morning, he reflects that while nothing overtly violent occurred, the constant attention, repeated moving of vehicles, and intentional noise created an environment that he definitely didn't feel safe in. He goes on to say that in stealth camping, the absence of direct confrontation does not mean the absence of risk. Okay, Okay, so what do we think old Rob here stumbled upon? If we start putting the clues together, you know, I'm not sure how these types of things get set up. And maybe my imagination is just, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but can't quite put my finger on it. Amoroso, a Brazilian explorer, was camping with his friend near Forest River. He couldn't sleep, so around 3 a.m. he decided he'd wake up and fish. It was peaceful, the woods were silent, until they weren't. Crazy sounds started to drift out of the darkness.
E eu tô escutando bastante barulho também para esses lados aqui, ó, Brryley. Tá. E onça adora ficar aqui, ó. Gente. Onça adora isso aí, ó. Tá?
When he aimed his flashlight into the trees, he caught sight of something watching him.
Lá pra cima, amor. Quer ir na estrada?
Two glowing eyes staring back.
É aquilo que eu sempre falo, a gente mora aqui no estado do Mato Grosso. Eu não preciso perder meu tempo pra ficar mentindo pra vocês. A minha mãe tava ali. Isso aqui foi esses dias, tá? Era de dia, à tarde. Escutou, amor?
With those eyes, the noises drew closer, as though something was circling their camp. He and his friend retreated into the tent and remained calm until dawn. Neither of them slept, and they don't know what it was, but they know that they were being watched all night long. This encounter takes place in late August of 2024 near Rubidoux Canyon, just west of Delta, Colorado. A camper named Kelly submitted a detailed report describing a series of unsettling events during what began as a quiet stay. Kelly arrived in the early afternoon, and the first day passed without incident, but his dog repeatedly went on alert, staring into the surrounding trees for no obvious reason. The behavior continued over the following days. While walking through the campground, Kelly noticed several large trees arranged in unnatural formations. Some were crossed and standing upright, while others formed a tall A-frame structure made from massive logs. He saw no ropes, wires, or fasteners holding them together, leaving him unsure how or why someone would build them. Later, while sitting near his camper, Kelly spotted a dark figure roughly 100 yards away. Using binoculars, he watched what he described as a thin, long-limbed creature crouch down, pick something up from the ground, and then eat it. He observed it for over 20 minutes before it suddenly disappeared. The next day, after relocating his camper, Kelly noticed movement again in the same direction. A dark shape appeared to lean in and out from behind a tree about 12 feet above the ground. He said it looked like someone was peeking out to watch him. It never fully revealed itself and eventually vanished after a few minutes. That evening, a brief exchange with a local rancher left Kelly uneasy. The man mentioned that weird things happened in the area and seemed eager to leave. Later that night, during heavy rain, Kelly noticed someone had messed with his vehicle. Something tugged at the license plate hanger, smashed against the siding, violently shook his trailer, and finally struck the cab hard enough to jolt it. Unfortunately, by morning, rain had erased any tracks, but Kelly discovered an unusual handprint on his truck. He later reported additional strange findings nearby, including fur samples and small human-like footprints with a defined big toe appearing directly over his tire tracks. Kelly's account isn't isolated. The region has a long history of similar reports. It is January 9th, 2026 in a snow-covered woodland in the United Kingdom. A solo camper prepares for his first ever subzero overnight camp. He'll be using this trip as a real-world test of a new winter sleeping bag. Because of the extreme conditions, he deliberately chooses a location close to civilization, returning to a secluded woodland spot he has camped at before.
Welcome to my first ever sub-0 degree camping trip, and also my first real cold temperature test of my new winter sleeping bag. because of that, I didn't want to drift too far away from civilization, so I've come down to a secret little area that I've camped out at before, and as I was on my way there, I wanted to do a few exciting wintry snowy shots for you so that you could see the lovely scenery lit up in the darkness. And then it started to snow a little bit more heavily, and I thought, if I don't get my camp set up, I'm potentially going to get absolutely covered in snow, soaking wet, and then be cursing myself from a very damp bivvy bag. So I came out to this little hidden spot and just checked the ground conditions, and then thought, right, let's get stuck in here. So I have fetched my trekking poles, and I've got a small tarp and pegs and all sorts here as well, so I could build a small shelter if it was a little bit windy and I wanted to take that wind chill off, or if I was expecting extreme heavy snowfall, but I'm not really. And the trouble I've got here is the tree cover is so spindly that once daylight hits, or if somebody comes past in the small hours with a torch, they're going to see a tarp and that unnatural tall square shape standing out a mile away in here. So without creating a tarp shelter, we are going to have a really low profile camp setup. So we've got a basic poncho tarp hybrid that I'm using as a ground sheet and an Elpkit Elan hooped bivvy. I'm so glad I bought that as my first bivvy bag last year. It's just so handy and so convenient. Like I say, super low profile, but that hooped section just makes it feel that little bit more open and substantial than my really basic bivvy bag. So I'm going to use two relatively low-end sleeping mattresses to try and get a bit of distance between me and the very cold ground, which was certainly not ideal, and you'll see more on that in just a moment.
As he hikes toward the site, snowfall begins to intensify. What starts as an attempt to capture scenic winter footage quickly turns into a race against the elements. He realizes that if he doesn't establish camp immediately, he risks becoming soaked, cold, and dangerously exposed. Abandoning plans to scout the area, he focuses entirely on shelter because of the snow. With sparse tree cover and visibility concerns, he decides against building a tarp structure. Any raised shelter would stand out unnaturally if someone passed through the area with a flashlight. Instead, he commits to an extremely low-profile sleeping bag setup, placing himself directly on the ground. Snow and the temperature continues to fall as daylight fades.
At the moment, the first drama of the night happens.
Somebody over there, there's somebody over there. What is going on here?
There has been somebody walking around out there. Unfortunately, I've waited and waited, and you can see the snow started to collect and actually gather on the bivvy and tarp now. And I can't do this in total darkness, so might as well just put the light on and go for it. I don't know if anyone's out there or not. If I've been spotted, I've been spotted. I'll keep my ear out. Obviously, I'm going to hear a lot of noise if somebody approaches the camp tonight.
While laying out a sleeping system, the night takes a sudden turn. Movement is heard nearby. Unsure whether it's wildlife or another person, the camper freezes in place, listening intently as snow accumulates on his gear. He remains motionless, unable to safely continue setting up in the darkness.
Drama happened when I knew that I'd seen a light.
I've got absolute footprints leading right towards me. I mean, it's continued snowing, but there, yeah. There, you saw that absolute clear. Oh, I hope that's on the camera. Oh, I'm so annoyed. Oh. Every now and then they just catch directly towards me.
Luckily, the lights didn't get that close to me.
When the snowfall eases slightly, he notices something deeply unsettling. Clear footprints are visible in the snow, leading directly toward his camp. At the same time, distant lights appear intermittently through the trees, pointing in his direction before disappearing again. His own tracks are now highly visible, leaving him exposed. To avoid detection, he dims his light and stays completely still for long periods, growing colder as the night drags on.
What's that? It's not very far away, and that I do not like.
Foxes. Foxes. Oh, I hope that's foxes. Listen. That has given me goosebumps even more than the
Later, out of nowhere, loud, sudden screams erupt nearby, causing him to practically freak out. Luckily, after listening carefully, he can identify the sounds as foxes. But even he says it was creepy at the moment. No direct confrontation happens in this clip, but the night is definitely defined by uncertainty. The movement in the woods, the footprints that he found in the snow, distant lights, and then the animal screams combined with isolation and extreme cold. Yeah, he was on edge. By morning, he reflects that staying close to civilization was the right decision for his first Sub-Zero test, and admits he might have been even more freaked out had he been deeper in the woods. As daylight hits, he packs up his gear and leaves the woodland with a clear reminder of how quickly a quiet winter camp can become unsettling. And not really because of what is seen, but because of what can't be confirmed. And I just want to add on, I don't know about you guys. Listen, I'll camp out there. Maybe we're going to see a dog man or a Bigfoot or I don't know, something else super creepy. I mean, I'm sure it's like everything. There's some exhilaration, some adrenaline pump for any of these things you do. So let me know if there's anybody that does this. I'm not a hater. It's very far down the list of the type of camping I'd like to do.
Could hear the trees breaking and crashing all around us. It was like every 30 seconds or so.
Trees that had been growing for decades, creating a canopy in West Haven, destroyed by ice and freezing temperatures.
The first thing that came to mind was a tornado had hit, but the houses were okay. You know, all the trees were just completely decimated, laying across the road. We knew that by the morning time it was going to be a pretty big mess.
We're out neighbors helping neighbors cut down trees yesterday.
Guys with gas-operated chainsaws, battery-operated chainsaws, moms and dads, everyone just pitching in and helping.
Good shot right there. Good shot right there. Good shot right there.
I mean, what an incredible story. Like, this dude has been missing for 7 years, and this guy who runs this YouTube channel comes up and finds him. I mean, what a rewarding channel. Like, what a rewarding thing to do for your community. I absolutely loved that one. I mean, can you imagine, like, 7 years? That guy has been down there for 7 years. Like, it's so sad. I mean, his family finally got answers, but, like, it took this random, I guess he's not random, but this YouTuber to come find this guy. I mean, it's incredible, really, when you think about it. I mean, what a rewarding thing to be doing for your community. Super cool. Go check his channel out. He's done a lot of crazy stuff. And I would imagine he just keeps finding more with the advances in AI and technology and all that. So, I don't know. Worth the follow for sure.